Hello, everyone, and welcome to one of the many previews that we'll do for round 10 against the Pies. We're going to start with Swoop Luke today. We usually get him on for a preview. What's going on, Swoopy?
Not much, mates. Is it do we verse each other this week? I don't know. So I didn't even know that was you guys this week. So it should be a good one, hey?
Should be a great one, mate.
No, thank you for having me on, mates. I missed you last year. Yeah, no, a pleasure. Always having a chat with you.
Yeah, I was busy last year. Had this grand
Mm,
plan. It was written in the stars. We are going to beat the Pies to make finals. I got Bucks on
mm.
for an interview. Nobody knew about it. And anyway, it turned out the way it turned out.
Yep, it did. It played did. But look, that was last year, and this year now. Last year doesn't count anymore.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So, what's the story from Collingwood? Because we're all watching this connected group that can't seem to do anything wrong.
Yep.
What's the story from your end?
Oh, look, man, you guys were here kind of last year as well, being 8-1, top of the table. You can't deny that it is a really good feeling. But yeah, we're like you said, we're very connected, very cohesive team at the moment. Fly's philosophy of one goes out, one steps in. With Billy Frampton going down, Darcy Cameron going down, we've had to make changes on the fly. No pun intended. But look, we're playing really good football. We're not playing our best football, but we're winning games, and that's all that really matters. And we're a game clear on top of the table. So it's a good position to be in, let me tell you.
Yeah. When you get to those fourth quarters and you're behind
Mhm.
by however much, what's that like in your mind? Are you as confident as what it seems you are as a supporter?
Yes and no. You are with what we've been able to sort of instill this belief, this intangible belief, since last year. You get to the last quarter and you're down by whatever it is, 3 or 4 goals, and you go. For on one side, you go, I really don't want to be here. I'd rather be up by 3 or 4 goals, obviously. But on the other side, you go, we're still in with a chance, unless like Brisbane. I think we were down by like maybe 40 points going into the last quarter, unless another team's got 8 or 9 goals on you going into that last quarter, you go far out. We are definitely in with a shout right now, and we're in with a chance. And yeah, that belief just goes not only throughout the players but throughout the stands. You can feel it. Like one sort of thing that reminds me of it is in the last quarter. Sorry, in the first quarter against Essendon. We hadn't kicked a goal. We kicked a goal right at the end, right at the death. Jordan De Goey. I think Essendon had kicked 2 or 3, and we weren't playing good football in that quarter. And as soon as he kicked that goal, we were still down by 12 or 13 points or something like that. But the Collingwood chant started ringing out at packed MCG, and it it's just that belief. Like the Collingwood chant doesn't happen unless we're up or we're coming back. But to do it in the first quarter, some people won't like it, but I loved it. It like the Collingwood players say, we're their 19th man.
Mm. I have noticed that actually. Now that you mention it, because it used to only be when you thought the game was over, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and now you use it as a spark to
It's a war
ignite the
cry.
music. Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah. I'm hoping that the chant catches on with the rest of the teams.
It
And
would be, it would be good. It is something European like as well, which we love.
yeah. What is the selection injury news from your end and who's coming into the team?
Look, we got a clean bill of health in regards to who we played last week. The only player that I can see coming in is Darcy Cameron. By all means, he seems fit and ready to go. And having a pure ruckman, like Cox is a ruckman, but he's not a pure ruckman. So having Darcy Cameron come in would be absolutely huge. It gives Cox the ability to float up forward or float down back and not shoulder all the ruck duty. Same with Ash Johnson. So he's probably the only change that I can see happening. Darcy Cameron in, Reef
Mm.
McInnes, who started as our stub, probably comes out, and I dare say maybe a small forward or someone like Markov will start as the tactical sub.
Our boy Markov,
My boy, I love him. He former Carlton, nearly Carlton listed player.
a Carlton list player for a day. Yeah. Where does the improvement from Collingwood come from?
efficiency inside 50. Like we can get the ball inside. It's just about turning over scores. Like, yeah, speaking of turning over scores, turnovers as well. We rank so highly in being able to get the opposition to turn the ball over, but scoring from those turnovers is something. I think last time I saw it, we were ranked 17th or 18th, only because we're causing so many turnovers, but we're just not capitalizing. And you would know, because you watch my stuff before and stuff like that. Putting teams to the sword is something that Collingwood doesn't do. Like, we did it against the Giants, but that's the Giants. But scoring over turnovers and just efficiency inside the 50, kicking more goals than points. And you would know, bad kicking is bad football. And that's exactly where we need to improve on.
Mm. Yeah, bad kicking is bad football. Tell me about it.
That wasn't a dig at last week, just in general. So
No, you're welcome to have a dig, mate. We can handle it. What have you? I mean, we're emotionally invested in Carlton on this end. What's your observation of Carlton being on the other end with no actual care factor for if we win or not?
no, look, starting off the season like you did, I think you were 4-1 at one stage, and biting for that sort of top 2, top 3 spot. Honestly, I hated seeing you guys up there, which you probably hate seeing us up there as well. But a bit of the wheel starting to fall off a little bit. You kind of get that. You kind of get that nice sort of feeling in your stomach when that happens. But and Mackay, not being able to kick drop punts and stuff like that. You go, awesome, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, and all these articles coming out, and that Matheson dude, standing on his soapbox. But then, me personally, I see that, and I love the downfall. But then I see that and go, all right, here's 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4 shot, all this ammunition to come out. I saw Patrick Cripps didn't lay a tackle last week or something, or he laid one maybe. He's got to come out, lay 15 tackles. Mackay isn't going to miss. So in my mind, I know the Collingwood of old, and you kind of probably get the same with the Carlton of old, or whatever it may be. I know what we can produce, and I know what we used to produce. So seeing Carlton get all this ammunition, they want to prove themselves, and what better stage to prove themselves than taking down the ladder leaders.
Mm. What do you make of the rivalry? Where is it at right now?
Oh man, after round 23, it was up and about. Like, it was crazy. And then the supporters got into us after we lost that prelim by a point as well, even though they had really no dog in the fight. But I think it's still up there. It's to be honest, this week it hasn't been as intense as I thought it would be. Maybe it's because you guys haven't been winning games, and it might have been different if we played each other earlier on in the season. But I think it's kind of simmered down a little bit. I dare say it's only Wednesday, so coming up towards the game, it's going to amp up a lot. And I'm sure you've got videos and posts ready to go, just like I do. So hopefully it does amp up, because look, as long as it's club banter, it's all fun and games. And the rivalry, it's something that you love and hate in football, and it just needs to be bigger, I reckon.
Yeah, I remember doing these with you 4 years ago, 4
Yeah,
years
probably.
ago.
Yeah, yep.
And it's kind of been the story of there's been a bit of pity for Carlton, because we were just so far away from being competitive, whereas now we're competitive and we're just losing games.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have that young tag anymore that we did. The spine are not teenagers like they were, 4, 5, 6 years ago. So, yeah, I think also one thing I noticed, I think even from you, I will say this, I will give credit where it's due. Your activity on Twitter with Carlton has definitely evolved. I will certainly give you that.
Okay, what do you mean? What do you let me know?
I feel like you're not as much looking to bait Carlton supporters as what you used to. Now, I don't know if that's because you're feeling sorry for us. Or if
Yeah, no,
you
look,
do it a little bit.
yeah, look, so I used to, just like, Carlton supporters did to me as well. I used to love a bit of the bait, and you used to do it to me too, and I used to do it to you. But when you look back, and look, this is going to sound really cliche or sappy or something, but like, since Fly has been a part of the club, all his teachings that you kind of hear in radio interviews and just in presses and stuff, he's kind of honestly made me want to be a better person. And I'm all for banter and all for having fun and stuff like that. But I want to be a better person, and he's kind of in some sort of way, shape, or form made me that. So yeah, I am maturing day by day. It's always a bit of a battle, as you're aware. And last year I went through bit of mental battles and done some really stupid things at the start of the year when we played each other in that first round and stuff like that. Handle stuff the wrong way. So every day I'm trying to be better, and if that means like not baiting Carlton supporters or praising them when they do something good, having a laugh when Mackay misses a goal from 10 meters out because he's trying to snap, but saying Cripps, he did well there, or Fremantle did well, just trying to bring more positivity. And the rivalry's still there, but I just want to be more positive than some sort of beacon of being an arsehole, really. If that's what it comes down to. I'll let other people and other accounts be the villain this time.
Yeah, I get you. Look, I'll be honest. I didn't want to do this.
I know you didn't. I know.
I did not want to do this, but I think I saw. I'll tell you what was the spark. Firstly, you're not as much of a dick as what you were.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
Talking to you, and I think also what I've noticed, like, it gets really heated. It's personal. It gets personal really quickly online.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the two of us clearly have something that we can use to show 100%. That we can still be a rival and still hate each other's clubs and still have a bit of a cheeky debate and not get personal.
100%.
And I think that's probably a bit more important than me feeling some type of way about not wanting to do an interview with Collingwood supporter after the way they knocked us out last year, because it'll turn.
Yeah, and that's at some point. 100%.
Time in our lives in 10, 20 years, maybe, I don't know, where it might be the other way around. Who knows? So I think it was important for my own maturity to just put that to the side.
Yeah, no, 100, and I definitely agree. We have fun on our platforms, that we definitely do, and same with Pommy and stuff. And if we can use them for even a little bit of good, even if we're converting one person to, instead of having a personal dig, go the other way, that's, to me, that's a bloody win. If I can just do that for one person, I've won the day.
Yeah, fair enough. So, give me some predictions. What's the game going to look like?
Man, I've been saying this, and I've been saying this to whoever will bloody listen to me. I think this is going to be so much closer than, and I don't know your thoughts, I'll get your thoughts in a sec. I think this is going to be so much closer than anyone imagines. I talked earlier about how, all of this Mackay stuff and Kerno and Cripps and all this Carlton stuff in the media just for the last 2 weeks has just been starting to blow up. I think that's going to be so much ammunition. It's given them so much ammunition that they're just going to come out. I don't know if that means that they're going to come out, Carlton are going to come out and win, but they're going to come out and play better than they did the last 3 weeks. And again, better than they have, because they're versing Collingwood. But on the flip side of that, Collingwood have been winning, obviously, close games, beating Adelaide. And I've always said, and without a premiership cup, it's hard to kind of say this, but I've always said that's what champion teams do. They beat these teams when their backs are against the wall. But champion teams always, and you look at Geelong, you look at Melbourne, they're putting away the Giants by 70 points. They're putting away Hawks, Eagles by 100 plus points. If Collingwood want to be considered a premiership contender and a really good team, for the way that Carlton have been playing, this has to be a 30-plus point win for the Pies. I don't think it will be, but to be considered that sort of big team, it has to be a 30-plus point win. But I think it's only going to be a 15-point win or so. It's only going to be a couple of goals in it.
Yeah. So
what about you?
Well, let me just ask you something. So you think that the next part of Collingwood's evolution is becoming a little bit more of a, like, not letting it get to the point where you have to rely on this inner belief to win the game and just go that step further?
100%. It's just, we've got to add a ruthlessness to our style of play. Like look at Geelong. They had a shit start, 0-3, right? And now look, they're putting teams to the sword by like 70 something points all of a sudden. Collingwood, phenomenal. What we're doing is phenomenal. We're still winning these close games. We're still coming back from 3/4 time, and that gives us as supporters belief, and we know that we can run out the whole entire game. But I want to be able to kind of sit back at 3/4 time and say, all right, we're 3 or 4 goals up. Let's keep piling it on. Not try and have to score 6 or 7 goals in the last quarter. Like, that's all well and good. I'm all here for it, but sometimes it's not going to work out. You see in the qualifying final, you see in the preliminary final that the Pies played last year. It's not always going to work out. We need to develop this ruthlessness, and I think we sort of got that against the Giants, where there was points where they were sort of not mounting a comeback, but sort of pressuring us around these sort of areas, and we just kind of brush them aside and then keep going and then put those goals on. And that's what, if there's one team to do it against, it's the Blues this weekend.
Fair. I'm with you in that. I think it'll be close, which gives me fear. If you look at the situation right now, we're sitting 9th as we enter this game. We're back at the scene of the crime. I don't know. These guys are human beings. Surely the way it ended last year from our end sticks in their memory for preseason 100%. And it's used as motivation. So I don't know if there's a little bit of righting the wrong, so to speak.
Yep.
I would like to think we're going to have a little bit extra within us. When you start a game poorly and you miss kick 3 or 4 or 5 in a row and it just keeps compounding.
Yeah,
that's what's been happening. So I'm expecting there to be a better start, a bit more of a focus, and it's more of a hope than anything. I think we're capable of winning. I think also the way in which we've been slammed externally, generally speaking, how much more slander can we take before it turns?
Well, exactly. That's what I've been saying. It's perfect. If I'm a Carlton supporter, and I've had some Carlton supporters say, "No, it's going to be the same sort of game as GWS." But like, if I'm a Carlton supporter and putting my Carlton hat on, I've got hope against for beating Collingwood this week. Especially, like, these players aren't going to listen to Robinson going off at Mackay and this is the worst 5-year deal or whatever. And then Mackay's not going to go, oh yeah, cool, I'm going to kick snaps, or I'm going to, not try and kick 6 goals this week against a team without a big fullback, playing on Darcy Moore, whatever it may be. And that's what, as a Collingwood supporter, honestly, that's what kind of scares me. Like, I think I tweeted it to one of the reporters today. I'm like, stop with these Carlton articles. You're giving them too much ammunition. And I don't know if that's how you kind of feel as well, but like, I feel like, it is going to be a really, really Michael Voss, Brisbane Lion fought game on the weekend.
I hope so. Having said that, Blues by 12.
Oh, interesting. Well, you weren't going to ever tip the Pies anyway, but
no. I can't not tip us. I'm hopeful. I think if we kick the ball badly, Collingwood will dominate us, and if we do this, Collingwood will win. I'm more so thinking, what if we win? I think it'll release a lot of pressure on the group.
100%.
I just need that one breakthrough, I think, against a quality opposition, and then this time last year, I think the roles were reversed. We were the hot team.
Yep.
You weren't poor, but you weren't at your best. And then
yep.
Your second half of the year obviously was what it was, and ours was what it was. So who knows? Maybe there'll be a round.
It's a good place to start. So you guys, we're 8-2 last year, and we're 8-1 now. So it's a good midway point. And who knows what happens for the rest of the season? What do they say? It's a marathon, not a bloody sprint.
Yep. Well, thanks for joining, mate.
Thank you for having me. I missed you. I missed your face, bud.
Yeah. I'll show up. I always show up. I won't shy away. No,
thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
We've been doing this for years. We've been doing this for many, many years, and I think we should, like I said, we have a role to play. We have a role to play Definitely. With our words and our platforms. So I think we should use that.
No, I agree, mate. No, again, Terry, thank you so much. To your fans, it's going to be fun. I'll see you guys on Sunday.
Can't wait.